If you love music, then do more than just listen. Connor's Music.
All right, welcome to John Connors Live. This is live on Wednesday, October 15th at 8:30 p.m. And it's the bottom of the first, and things are not going great for the Blue Jays. I hung the jersey, and but we'll see. It's early. So if you're watching the game, I respect that. But, you know, maybe take a break from that and join us for some tunes, some chat about music, and some great information we're going to share today. So we've jammed a lot in today's show. I'm going to quickly start off with the gear I'm using. Then we're gonna have a nice chat. And so quickly, gear. I've got my Revelator interface, Aston Stealth mic again. And today I'm using a Larry Carlton Sire acoustic. The model number is an A4 in natural. And it's plugged in direct, so you'll see the cable there. Because it's got a very cool pickup. It's called the SIB dual pickup, and it gives us a lot of control. If you have questions about it, I'll dig into that more. But Larry Carlton, who was involved in the design of these, just like Marcus Miller, which these are the basses here. He was their partner for the basses. Larry Carlton was their guitar partner, and he played with absolutely everyone. And he was one of those studio guitarists that was highly coveted. And so I went through the list of all the people he played with, and just I was like, put my finger there, and I landed on Joni Mitchell. So I don't think he actually played on this track per se, but that's my connection and the reason why I'm going to play Big Yolo Taxi to start the show off today. So here we go. I'm going to add my reverb and play you a tune. Paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Bay Paradise, put up a parking lot. They took all the trees, put them in a tree museum. And they charge the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Bay Paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, farmer, put away that DDT now. Give me spots on my apples and leave me the birds and the bees. Please, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Bay Paradise, put up a parking lot. Late last night, heard the screen door slam. A big yellow taxi took away my own bed. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Bay Paradise, put up a parking lot. Bay Paradise, put up a parking lot. The Bay Paradise, put up a parking lot. There we go. And my first comment right out of the gate, Dan says, "Hey, John." Thanks, Dan. And thanks for tuning in. I see it gives me a little eyeball count. So I see you're watching. Thank you. And we've got a guest today. Before I introduce our guest, I want to let you know later in the show today, we're going to give away 2 tickets to see Séan McCann at the Stephen Leacock Theater, which is a beautiful event space for music. The show is on November 2nd, and you got to pay attention to the whole show. And there'll be a little trivia question at the end, and whoever gets it right will get the 2 free seats. And Lou says, very nice. Thank you very much, Lou. All right, so we'll get on to our guest and a great chat on an important topic. And I want to start by just thanking Danielle in advance for reaching out and saying, hey, I've got this topic that's near and dear to me, and I'd love to chat about it. And I said, yes, this would be perfect for John Connor's Live. So, and before we go on to that, I just want to throw that comment up there because, hey, John, sounding great as always. I want to see Sean. So, Michelle, if you want to see Séan McCann at the Leacock Theatre on for free, because we got 2 free tickets, make sure you pay attention to the show. There'll be a question at the end. And if you get it right, you'll win the 2 seats. All right. So please welcome to the live stream, Danielle Benoit.
Hi, John. That sounded great.
Oh, thanks.
Nice work.
So, I guess, could you hear?
Of course, I was singing along. So.
I never remember. I've never been a guest on this show, so
I
don't
know
what you can.
It's always weird when it's flipped
in the background. You could hear, but I couldn't hear you during watching backstage. Okay,
no,
perfect. Backstage.
Yes, exactly. Room. Yeah, long time listener, first time caller to the John Connor's Live show.
That's
so
right.
This is wonderful to be here.
And long time, like first as a student and then as a coworker and
teacher. Yeah,
so
long time. I was trying to think. I didn't want to do the math because I think that'd be scary. But I started in grade 5, doing voice and then clarinet and piano with you guys. So it's been a long time, which is.
And I jumped in on that, like the piano part of it with you.
Essential.
I remember that. Yeah.
Got me into university.
It's funny when you mentioned that. It was only maybe 2 years ago. I had another student who got into a post-secondary program, but didn't have piano and was told, oh, it's a requirement. And so she had to do the same Danielle Benoit crash course.
Yes.
And she did it, and she's doing great too. So
good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're not in that zone, and then it's like you realize it's a requirement. And
right. There, Phil says, hey, so I want to say, hey. Yeah, for sure. And so we've learned, over the years from that kind of stuff. And you've also now went on and had some experiences, both positive and something that you learned from that you wanted to share, right?
Yeah. So I want to tell the story kind of. I went through for clarinet. I went to Western University for music education and then a year of artist diploma performance. But today, and I approached John with the topic of ergonomics and just healthy musicianship, basically, because it's a cautionary tale, but before I get into that story, I just want to talk about what is ergonomics. Like when we say that word, what the heck does that even mean? And for us, it's the idea of using tools and strategies to reduce tension and torque on our bodies so we can be healthy musicians for as long as possible and play pain-free. And I don't know how many people maybe experience this now and kind of like are looking for solutions or just having this awareness of, what life of a musician can lead to sometimes and good strategies to use. But some injuries, I don't know if you, John, even guitar or whatever, but repetitive strain, tension, and fatigue can really impact our life playing instruments, and how that shows up in our body can be hand pain and shoulder pain, numbness in different parts too, and headaches from, jaw tension sometimes as well. Like even I had friends in university from TMJ lose a year because they couldn't play. So it's just, it can range, in severity too. But my story is, so I played clarinet for a long time. And the last concert I played, my last big concert was at Carnegie Hall in New York City. I was lucky enough to join the Toronto Youth Wind Orchestra on their tour. They graciously let me come with them, and I made it. To say you made it to that kind of venue is pretty special. Sure. But it was a bittersweet experience because I was in so much pain. To backtrack a little bit, in school for music at the university level, it's not uncommon at all to play 3 to 5 hours a day. So I would come home and have to ice everything and, use what I could to kind of recover for the next day. So years of that wear and tear, just kind of like my body had enough. And I was on stage and my arm started shaking to the point I was worried I was going to drop my clarinet. I was like, heard, I can take a hint.
Yeah, right.
I've kind of like been in rehab physically for a while just with that. So this is part like cautionary tale, but also just a really good education piece for any type of musician out there, young or young at heart, anyone who has an instrument in their hands, just to kind of be aware of. So,
and to add to that, like, I don't think it's necessarily just the pro musician that plays 3 to 5, the student or
not at all.
in my case, when I like at the kind of apex of teaching, like right now I still teach, but not to the level I used to, like as far as number of students. And at that point there would be like spans of 7 hours of playing with students.
Yep.
And at the end of those nights I was in a lot of pain. So then I just had to consciously say, like, you don't have to play every song with every student, even though it's fun. So put the instrument down, let them play, give them the feedback, and then pick it up once per lesson or whatever. So
exactly.
Some of it is not overdoing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing your limits is a big piece of what we're going to kind of talk about throughout as well. Listening to your body and knowing when to expand and when to reduce. But for tools and strategies, just really basic core stuff that you can do depending on who you are and what you do. A supportive chair is kind of like a key thing, just making sure it's going to support your back enough, or just it's not kind of like a ball, like an exercise ball, like a bucket, like that's not a great choice. That kind of thing. So just be aware of the structure of how you're playing. Using things like shoulder straps, neck straps, anything that's kind of commonly available are really great things. Like some of them are required for a saxophone or a guitar. Clarinet, it's 50-50. I would say people play with a neck strap, but for me it was like an absolute must. I couldn't play without it. Thumb rest too. Anything heavy like an oboe, clarinet, anything that rests on your thumb and puts pressure basically on this, I don't know if you see this part of your thumb, right? And then all that pressure is going up your arm. Can't really see. And it's just all connected, like that nerve circuit in your arm. So it's just protecting that. Stretching before playing is really important too, warming up those muscles and just, warming up as well your instrument, and just developing that kind of practice is good practice. The next section that I want to address is musician wellness in general, like our bodies. I talked to John about this too, is that we sometimes don't think of our bodies as a tool, or, we're not athletes or dancers, but musicians do use really complex fine motor skills and like our, functions. So it's not a big muscle group we're using, but they do take their toll, right? So we want to make sure we protect them and have that mindset as well.
So we see this comment.
Oh, here. Yeah. I was going to say drumming, that we're going to talk about later, just gripping and making sure the right grip and a relaxed grip when you're using the sticks. Definitely important for sure. So in terms of the wellness, like, consider yourself a really artistic athlete, protect your body and take care of it. And for me, like I seeked out chiropractic care and massage therapy. So if you have access to that kind of service, but really good things to start young too. I mean, they're not just for certain age groups. Like it's really good to try out and see if it helps you. I've been doing it since my 20s, and it's made a huge difference in my life. And practicing yoga, even if it's, don't want to try it, but it does promote relaxation in your body, and breathing. Your breath control is really good. So that all kind of comes into it. So recommend that for body wellness. The next section is picking an instrument with an ergonomic lens. So this is John, I wanted to ask you some trivia. Do you know what two instruments are kind of they put the most amount of torque on your body and are kind of the most painful potentially for you? Like which ones do you think are in that category of just being kind of torquey?
Like I remember always thinking French horn would have been really tough that way, but they're
very popular. Very popular. Yeah. We'll say that.
Yeah, not so French horn was not, right?
No, but French horn you have to like cup your hand in.
Yeah.
So it depends on,
but it's not any impact, right? The same way, like. So I want to say drumming and I want to say guitar.
No. But I mean, I would say every instrument can potentially have a caveat for, any type of injury or whatever. But
so most torque. Okay.
Most torque, flute and violin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Flute and violin.
soon as you say violin and you
Yeah.
think of how much goes into making sure they're at the right position alone, right? Now, one
it's
person
huge.
added
It's the
accordion
toe.
as a workout,
I believe it.
which is so true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they have to overextend so much. You can't really see but like the one wrist is turned and then you have to turn your like this, right? So both shoulders are kind of doing a weird motion.
It's almost like your starting point is in a tough place for your body.
Exactly. And flute as well, like both shoulders are kind of turned and elevated. So they're extremely popular, especially with young kids, but to be aware that those ones can kind of be the most potentially concerning for our bodies to keep healthy.
For sure.
And you talked about, John, too, like something key in your practice with the stores is helping students choose the correct size instrument too. With stringed instruments, they can come in, half, 3/4 sizes. So just making sure when you're picking an instrument, it's kind of suited to their current state or their size, and knowing they can change later. So starting on like maybe a rented instrument or something like that and working up to that.
And we do
bigger
trainings to help.
And trade in. Yeah, exactly. It's just making sure it's the right match for the time. Another piece of trivia for flute. I mean, flute is such a funny kind of category, but they taught us in music education to watch out for a certain lip shape. So it's called the Cupid's bow. And with flute, because it's so interesting, it cuts the airstream. So students who have that might struggle a little bit learning flute. So it's just a random
like a standard like lip shape that they have that you're born with, like a like not a
no.
Okay.
No, like if it kind of dips down in the center, it's just going to be really difficult to get a really solid airstream. And so that's just one thing to be aware of. But and the last thing in terms of just a practice, how people can help students. So if you're a teacher or a parent, one thing you can really help your student or child with, oboe, upright bass. Oh my gosh. In school, in music education, we have to take different instruments that are not your instrument. And so I did like percussion, I did viola, I did, a bunch. I hated cello. I loved the sound of cello. I couldn't do it. I couldn't wait to be, it was so hard. Like it was physically challenging for me. So I can imagine bass is more. I've never played double bass before, but bagpipes. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's the thing. Any instrument, and that's why there's a kind of like generic practices. It's like no matter what your instrument is, there's a baseline way to stay healthy. Yeah. But for teachers and parents looking for signs of discomfort in a student or a child. So if they make side comments being like, oh, like I am experiencing this after my lesson, or just kind of like having an awareness of things that they say, doing wellness checks with them, like, hey, like, depending on their instrument, if they're a woodwind player or something, like, how's your jaw feeling? Like, do you feel tense? If they're experiencing headaches out of the blue, after they've started playing an instrument, if they have pain somewhere and it's correlating with that timeline of starting a new instrument, then that's something to just explore and see, like, is it related? Should we kind of pause and check if that's something that needs to be readjusted, that kind of thing. Yeah. Teaching them to listen to their body too is really key. And for teachers, two kind of things to really help their practice as an instrumental teacher or just a music teacher, being aware of those pitfalls that can be in your instrument. So things to watch out, like this is a really common unhealthy habit that students develop, and how to combat it is one thing that's really good. So for percussion, grips, like, are we relaxed? Are we in the right shape? That kind of thing. Posture, embouchure, that kind of thing. Anything that's in your family of what you practice. It's good to, like, what are we looking for? What are we trying to avoid? That sort of thing. And I want to talk about accommodations for post-surgeries and injuries, that kind of thing. I had wisdom teeth surgery, and it's a 3-week recovery. I couldn't even touch my clarinet for 3 weeks because the back pressure of the clarinet would blow out my stitches. So it's thinking about, like, how can we get them, engaging with their instrument if they're injured, working on fingerings or listening, that kind of thing, and just knowing how to help them if that happens.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
And, it was interesting. A couple of things you hit on. One, when you were talking about picking through with the ergonomic lens, and how often I hear things like, oh, this will do for now, but because they want, and I understand, like, you already have maybe this instrument, but it's not the right size.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I just want to see if I'll like it. But it's like, you won't know, because if you're uncomfortable and in pain, you're not going to know if you're enjoying it until you
Absolutely
actually try it. So that's why I love that you brought up, like, explore rentals. Make sure you try exploring music with an instrument that you're comfortable with, and that's not going to cause you pain. Right?
The right fit.
Yeah. And then the other part that I really love that you touched on there too was having that person that you can go to that's going to give you that feedback, like, oh, wait, hold on, if you do it like this, maybe right now you're fine, but over time that happens to create these problems. And that's where, like, again, something else I'm hearing a lot is somebody saying, well, I'm not going to work with a teacher, I'm going to learn on YouTube. So I get it, there's lots of great resources online, such as this live stream, but it can't give you that feedback that's crucial at certain points in your learning.
Timely feedback and based on your experience. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, absolutely. It's key.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love this. This is so great. Yeah. And neat just catching up, like Danielle.
Yeah.
Before we went live, we were just going over the show and everything, and then we just kibitzing a bit, and it's fun. And you're going to be coming to Keswick in November.
That's right. Yeah, we have tickets to Séan McCann, and we're so excited. Séan is wonderful. We've been lucky to see him a couple times. We've kind of like toured around and caught him in different venues. And Séan's wonderful. Like, beyond, we were talking about this, beyond his music, and I've been a great Big C fan forever. And Séan's also wonderful as a solo artist. But kind of in relation to what we've talked about, I mean, Séan has an Order of Canada. I don't know how many people know that, but that's an incredible achievement for him. And he's a huge advocate for, mental health and addiction as well. So he has this like kind of side profile that not many people know about. And when he performs, he kind of blends that into his music and his stories. So I love that.
And he does a great job of doing it where you're learning something. It's got value, but you still have a really fun time. Like, it's not like at the end of it, wow, we spent the whole time just thinking and feeling. No, you're going to just have fun too, right?
Yeah, stomping away.
So what is, John says, loving this convo also.
Oh, thank God.
I was like, oh, well, at least we've given them something interesting to, there you go, 2-2 at the top.
Wonderful.
Well done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I love the jersey in the background, but I'm just really emotional.
Yeah. I was like, maybe I should take it. No, leave it up.
No, it's retro too. I love it.
And Luke says, now I know. So this is good. And knowing is half the battle, as they used to say. Right?
That's correct. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, for me, like, this is, if I can prevent anyone from having an injury like mine, then that's just like a huge thing. And I hope this was interesting for people to hear about. And yeah, it's good to know.
Although music's still a part of your life, I hope that all this work you're doing does lead you back to being able to play your first love, right? Like, would I call that your first love? Would that be right? Or
it's yes. Yeah, I've just spent so much time. It just became so like a core part of my life. And then for the last 9 years, it's been a rehab, truly. Just to try and get back to a place where my shoulder doesn't hurt. Like, in terms of my shoulder, what I've experienced physically, like, it would go numb. Like, I think I do have some moderate nerve damage, to be honest. Like, I've worked with a chiropractor. I'm at the point now. Oh, I want to say I have a couple tattoos. I've like purposely avoided not getting a tattoo on the shoulder just in case I need surgery one day. I hope not.
Right. You don't want them to have to. No, just
no. Don't want that.
Yeah.
So, and then like acupuncture might be on the table as a, recovery piece for me, but you're right. Yeah, I hope so, because clarinet it's in there. I still have, all the muscle memory and lots of rep.
They always say it can be a little bit difficult being around a convert, right? So like if I've just found something great for my health, I want to tell everyone, right? But I recently started, frequent massage and acupuncture.
Good.
And it's
really,
it's working for me. Yeah.
I'm so scared. I don't I want to try it because I know it's good, but I'm just scared.
I didn't even think of it. So what happened was I went for the massage and she just said, oh, should we do acupuncture too? And I was like, I guess you're the expert. And I was like, ugh.
You're brave.
So I had like tight calf muscles, unrelated to music, really. It was actually like a ball hockey injury.
Yeah.
And then more recently, I was having a knee thing and I couldn't do stairs normally. And I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm
It's
70.
always something, eh?
And then I asked my dad and he says, no, I feel much better than that. So you don't feel 70, you feel 90. But then, 2 weeks ago, acupuncture on the knee, and there's
Okay.
99% no pain now.
Wow.
That's
That's amazing.
Now, I think that might be unique to the type of injury I had at that time.
Maybe.
So I'm not promising to everyone you go get acupuncture and you'll be healed immediately. But I asked her, like, so what do I do now? And she goes, oh, it's better. And I was like,
Fixed.
really?
Done.
And she was right. So
that's great. Well, I think that's a testament to, finding avenues to get help and whatever that means for you,
absolutely.
Feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for bringing this topic to the show.
Of course.
And we'll if people reach out with questions, I'll be able to connect them with you with ideas
lovely
you've explored, and we'll chat about maybe having you back on again too.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was great.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. So to move on with some of the I've got like lots of topics to talk about today, and I want to squeeze them all in and another tune before too long, because I want you guys to be able to engage in the full Jays game too, if you're into that. So what's coming up next? Okay. Right now at Connor's Music, you drop by and you spend every $10, you get a ballot to win $500 of in-store credit. We've got a ballot box full, but it's a local community giveaway. So we're not talking about your chances being one in 100,000 or something. It's one in the people that come by Connor's Music. So drop in again every $10 you spend in merchandise, service, rentals, repairs. We will give you a ballot for that giveaway. We're going to do that giveaway during our Midnight Madness sale, which is on Saturday, October 25th. It'll be at 5 p.m. Okay, so just note that's coming up. And let's move on to the next thing. I feel like a messenger when I'm just telling you guys all about these things. We got giveaways, we got sales, we got this new acoustic. Oh yeah, and I wanted to put the acoustic in the link. The link in the chat for the guitar that we're playing today. This link actually will show you 3 Sire instruments, the 2 basses and the guitar that we have in stock right now, all from Sire, and really good value instruments. So I wanted to share that. And then because I feel like a messenger, I found this song that I love by a Canadian artist, Danielle Benoit, re-recorded by one of my favorite bands when I was a teenager, the Tea Party. So let's do this next song. Is called The Messenger.
Got a letter from a messenger. I read it when it came. It said that you were wounded, you were bound and chained, you were love and you were handled, you were poison, you were pain. Oh no, oh no. You were naked, you were ashamed. You could almost touch heaven. tightly. Here's a door that can swing wide. Oh no, not expecting to collide. For a minute I let my guard down, not afraid to be frowned out. I completely forgot, dear, what our fears were all about. Oh no, there's no need to be without. There's a chance I would take it. This desire I can't kill. Take my heart, please don't break it. I will crawl to your foothill. I am frightened, but I'm coming. Please, baby, please stay still. Oh no, they're not coming for the king. Oh no, I'm not coming for the king. Oh no, I'm not coming for the king.
All right, little Danielle Benoit, inspired by the rendition by the Tea Party by John Connors during John Connors Live. And one of the things pre-show Danielle and I were talking about was different shows that we'd saw, and she had said that John, her partner, went and saw Danielle and Benoit, if I get this right, at a theater in London that they also saw Séan McCann at. So we were like, oh wow, what a cool connection. So on that note, we should get to the Séan McCann ticket giveaway. And on that note, that's a good little, maybe that should be my catchphrase for John Connors Live. I'll say on that note, like a musical double entendre. Earlier, Danielle was talking about the two instruments that create the most torque, toughest on your body. Okay, John says that is 100% correct. Good, I got it right. Thanks, John. And so there's the two instruments that give you the most torque, the toughest on your body, and they're popular instruments. If you can name those two instruments, you get 2 free tickets. Put it in the comments right now. Oh, he was fast. Oh my gosh. Michelle, you were supposed to be on it. Dan DeMarco says flute and violin. Dan, you're the winner of 2 tickets to the Séan McCann show. Man, like, did you have a pre-typed? Like, you were so fast. And nice job, John. And the Jays are up 5-2 in the third. Thanks, Ross, for that. And thank you for the compliment on the show. This is a lot of fun. And, I feel like just having the Jays jersey hanging there during a great show talking about important topics gave them the extra boost they needed. Maybe I should go live again tomorrow. Your voice is, and your song choice. Thank you. Violin and sorry, it's too late, Lou. But the good news is, even though we were giving away 2 tickets, you're so close. Maybe there's a delay on YouTube. And if there is, I'm sorry. Because Dan was super fast at 9:02 p.m. He had the comment in there. And so Dan's the winner of the tickets, and they'll be here. Thank you. The minute you started, I started. He knew where I was going with it. That or he has ESP. So anyways, so the Dan, the tickets will be here for you. We'll put your name on them. But there are still tickets available. And let me put the link in the chat for that, because why not, right? It's going to go direct to the website, which is the easiest place to buy the tickets, but you can come in store too if you want. And when you go, we had one question. Somebody wanted to buy, like, they were a group of 5, and they said, well, they can't move the quantity to 5. That's because each product is its own ticket. So just keep putting the seats that you want in. That way you can all sit together into the cart, and then you can check out all 5 at once after. So don't put a quantity of 5, put a quantity of 1 of each seat that you want. And most of the centers sold out, and the front rows in the wings, but there is still some basically, and this is almost unanimous, that there's no bad seat in Leacock Theatre. So even if you get the last 2 tickets available, you're still going to have a wonderful view of a wonderful show with great acoustics with a great artist. So please don't delay. Go check that out. And Dan, drop by for your tickets as early as tomorrow. And again, big thank you to Danielle for coming on for today's show and sharing all that great info. All right, everyone, get back to the Jays game. Let's cheer them on to a victory there in Seattle. Have a good one.
If you love music, then do more than just listen. Connor's Music.